Good afternoon, good evening, adventurers of Carolina Conference. My name is Pastor Armando Miranda. Well, my name is not Pastor, my name is Armando Miranda, and I'm a pastor, and I work somewhere in Maryland. It's called the North American Division Youth Department, and I love adventures. I actually have adventures in my house. I have a 3-year-old and a 10-year-old, and I love doing activities with them in adventures. I hope that in this camp you have been able to learn, fills you with His Spirit, and then you continue to be that adventure that will change the world. May the Lord keep you safe and have fun. God bless you.
Adventures, it's Sherry with another Claver's Crafts. Today we're going to do a little card. We know that you may not be able to see your grandparents or people in nursing homes or even some of your older church members. So we came up with a really nice idea to make a card. Now, we know that you're going to miss riding the horses, so we came up with a little neat idea. We are going to have on our website this little template for a card with a horse on it. And it says, "We are galloping along to let you know we are," and they're going to open it up, "thinking of you." Isn't that so much fun? I know I really miss riding the horses, and since I've been a council member, I don't really get to ride the horses anymore. And we're going to learn about riding horses later with Miss Robin. So we wanted to do that, and you can do anything. We are also going to show you how to just do it on a blank sheet of white cardstock paper. So I'm going to do both to show you. Now this craft is really neat and really simple. I have 3 cups. They don't have to be clear for this one. You can use any cup that you want. A wide brim cup though is really good. Okay, so what we did is we poured a little bit of water into each cup. Now, you can use food coloring directors and leaders, but I went and I just got some of those little single packets that you pour into your water. And we're gonna see if that works. You know, when you do crafts, sometimes you have to get a little bit creative. So that's what we're gonna do today. We have red and orange, or like a yellow orange. And I meant to get purple, but I got another red. So we're gonna see how this works. And you know what? You just make it whatever your favorite colors are. Remember, what's my favorite color? Pink. So we have our orange. Now remember, you can even mix colors. So if you want to mix a little bit of another color in here or another food coloring will probably be the best. But this is kind of a safe way, because you know what food coloring does? It stains your fingers, which is kind of fun. But sometimes, you know, they don't like us getting all messy. So here we go. What we're gonna do, we're gonna take, you don't have to have Dawn, just any dish soap will do. I have a really good smelling one. We're gonna have a really smelly one today. We have orange and fruit punch and strawberry. And now we're gonna add apple to it. So we're gonna put a little bit in there, because guess what we're gonna make? We're gonna make some bubbles. It's gonna be super fun. You know, what do our parents always tell us? Don't blow bubbles in your drink. Well, guess what? Now you get to do it. So we're gonna mix it up. You see those bubbles in there? That's what we want. Now, we don't wanna drink this. Please do not drink it with the soap in it. Only blow those bubbles. Like you're gonna go blow bubbles through your bubble maker. That's what we want. So we want those bubbles to show up, get it really stirred up good. One more. And you know what? This one's actually a darker red, so I think it'll work out great. Now let's see if Miss Sherry can get these going. I think I might need a little bit more in our orange. Here we go. Ooh, that smells so good with that apple, but we don't want to drink it. Please do not drink this. All right, here we go. We're gonna make some bubbles. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our card and we're going to blow we're gonna place it down. Pop. There you go. Okay. We're gonna stir the next one. Blow. All right, so that one needs a little bit more, and so your teachers might have to kind of work with it, and you may need a little bit more water. So Miss Sherry can do that. Okay, here we go. Stir, stir, stir. That's the fun part, right? And the blowing. Here we go. And that one's not working very well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of take my finger. You can take your finger and you can kind of dot it on there. Isn't that fun? Okay. And sometimes it's just not gonna work out. Don't worry about it. All right, let's see if we can get this one to work. That first red one worked great. Maybe Miss Sherry might need more bubbles. We'll just have to see. All right. And it may be because it's a drink, so let's see. Well, yeah. Here we go. All right, so I'm gonna kind of put it over here. And there you go, you just pop it on there. I'm gonna let it dry. Now I'm gonna show you on this one really quick. Okay, so you can just go pop, pop. See, make such fun shapes. I'm gonna try to get this orange one to work. All right, see that's a little bit different shade of red. Let's see if we can get this orange one to work. If not, we're just gonna not worry about it. That's what happens sometimes. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Hey, look at that. Okay, so here, let me do my horse. Oh, look at those big bubbles. It's so much fun. Pop. And there you go on the inside, okay? And you're just gonna lay it out, let it dry, okay? And so here's that one. Here's our horse, okay? And that's why we just wanna barely tap it because it's definitely gonna get that paper wet, okay? And then you can color in the words beforehand. That's what I would suggest. Don't try to do it afterward because it's still wet and we don't wanna mess up our beautiful artwork. So we hope that you'll enjoy doing this craft. We really miss seeing you, and Miss Sherry is so excited to see all of your wonderful craft creations. Have a great Fun Day weekend. Take lots of pictures of your crafts, post them to Facebook, and use the hashtag #CarolinaFun. Again, we want you to take lots of pictures and maybe some videos. Go post them on our Facebook page, on the Adventure Facebook page, and use the hashtag #CarolinaFun. We're gonna take some of those pictures and videos. We're gonna make a really neat ending program on Sunday, July 19th at 6 p.m. Bye.
Adventurers, it's Miss Robin, and we hope that you are having fun by doing all of these activities for our virtual Adventure Fun Day. You know, I've been doing the horses, so it's kind of hard to maybe get the horses to where you are. So we're gonna have to kind of pretend. We're gonna have to think that these are our horses. You know, sometimes you just gotta make do with what you have. So all I did was, this is a noodle, and I made this little horse's head, and just cut this and put the little horse head on there. And what we want you to do with this is we want you to run a race. So I have two of them. So I'm gonna have a line of kids here and a line of kids here, and we're gonna run to a point, and then we're gonna run back. And then the next one in line will grab the horse. Now, if you're doing this at home, if you have brothers or sisters, you can even use your mom or your dad's to run the race and then come back. But it's just for fun. Everybody wins. Also, I want to just tell you that with this card, you can do the bubbles, but you can also use paint and your fingerprints, and you can color in the horse that way too. It's however that you want to do it, but you will get a copy of this card. I'm going to send it to assisted living facility that we go to let those residents know that we are thinking of them and that we miss them because we can't go in to see them right now. One thing that I want to talk about too is, what is the color of God? Has anybody ever asked you that? What is the color of God? Or have you even thought of, what is the color of God? Well, I heard this the other night, and God's color is all of the colors. And so his glory is like the color of a rainbow, because he's got all the colors of people, the colors that are out in his nature, and that represents the rainbow of all the colors in his glory. And what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to shine out from that rainbow to show his love to others around us by showing what his glory is. Hope you have fun, enjoy, and we'll see you. Bye.
Adventurer pledge. Because Jesus loves me, I'll always do my best. Hi guys, welcome to Paint Your World, Adventure Fun Day with Jonathan Vallejo. Today we were doing a really fun day. You would need a pencil or marker, tape, or construction paper. First, you would need to put the tape on the bottom layer and then on the top of the paper. Same with all the rows. The top layer, the bottom layer, the top layer, the bottom layer. Ask for help with one of your parents. And then you'll draw your hand on you draw your hand on this one. Draw your hand on every different color. Like draw your hand on this one, on this one, on this one, on this one. Not on this one because it's the same color as that one. And then this one, and then do your feet. Draw your feet on it on every other color that you have left. Hi guys, welcome back. We just completed our game. Let me tell you a little bit about it. I put a left and a right so I know which one I'm doing it on. And the hands on the left hand and the right hand. The right hand and the left hand. Okay?
Muy bien. Ahora ya tenemos todos los colores aquí. Quiero dar las gracias a Jonathan Vallejo por haberme ayudado aquí a colocar todo esto. Y bueno, él pintó su mano, trazó, hay que trazar las manos, ¿verdad? Con un marcador. Tú mismo o le pides a tus papis que te ayuden a poner las huellas, a trazar tus manos y tus pies. Le puedes poner si es izquierda o derecha. ¿Ok? Lo puedes poner en inglés o lo puedes poner en español, como tú quieras. Porque esto nos va a servir para identificar dónde vamos a poner nuestras manos y luego también los colores. Porque cuando empiece la música del juego, vamos a tener una bonita diversión y también vamos a hacer ejercicio. ¿Ok? Bien acomodadito, lo pegamos aquí con tape, muy bien acomodadito, para que no se muevan. ¿Ok? Tienen que estar bien. Mira, esto no se mueve nada, porque tiene una cinta transparente. ¿Ok? Así que ahí está. ¿Estamos listos para jugar?
I am ready. Are you ready to play?
Are you guys ready to play? Are you excited to have fun? Me too. You are a super duper kids. Let's play then. Do not give up. Ready, set, go. Green, red, orange, pink. Right hand, left foot, left hand, right foot. Yellow, blue, red, orange.
Vamos a decir la ley de los aventureros. Saludar, ya. La ley de los aventureros es: Jesús puede ayudarme a ser obediente, ser puro, ser leal, ser amable, ser respetuoso, ser atento, ser ayudador, ser alegre y no cuestionar o ser reverente. Firmes, ya.
I'm Melinda, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the obstacle course we had planned for this weekend. One of the things they were going to use was a quintuplet step, and we made the quintuplet steps from one piece of plywood. It can be a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch thick, and you cut 5 pieces of steps. They're 2 by 2 feet, and you would have the front, the top of it. And then you're going to cut 2 by 4s into 2 foot long sections. You'll have 4 for each step. We took, and you can either nail or screw from the top, each 2 on each side, parallel sides, to make the base. And then you'll take 2 more for the folding legs or the kickstands. And on these you will mount it with a nut and bolt. You'll need to put a washer on each side, and you're going to cut the inside corner so that the leg can fold up. It gives you a perfect 45-degree stand if you're on level ground, but it can also go higher so that you can have a 60-degree tilt on them if you get real good at them. But this will give you 5 of them, so you'll have to have 4 pieces for each step. And we have a supply list that'll tell you what you need to buy exactly. But then you'll have your 5 quintuplet steps for your obstacle course. And the kids just love it. My plan was to paint each one a different color to follow out our theme for the colors. So you would have 5 different colored quintuplet steps. And then one of the other things we were going to have was a balance beam, which is real easy. You just take a 2x4 and you decide how long you want to have it. And then you're going to cut 1-inch sections. I advise at least 4 of them, and put them at 4 different spaces. We need one here still. But as you can see, we just took the sideways 1-foot section and nailed it from the top down so that we don't have any pieces of nail sticking pointwise up to hurt the kids. And we were going to paint it also colors of the rainbow. One color for the long piece and different colors for the other sections. And that's their balance beam. They could walk it. We would have had it on a fairly flat surface, so they wouldn't have had all this grass to keep them from being that away. If you had really big ones, you could turn the board the other way and it would be a little further off the ground. One of the other things we had was for something for the the adventurers to come under. You can string pool noodles through a piece of string and either tie them up to trees or whatever and have them varying heights, and they have to crawl under them and have a lot of fun that way. You can also do hula hoops and have them strung up so they have to crawl through the hula hoop and, test their balance and stuff that way. We also built some real easy hurdles for them to come over. You can vary the height of the hurdles. I think mine go from a 1/2 foot up to 2 foot. But it's real easy. Everything is with the pipe, and you just take them apart. And these are little 1-foot sections here, and they have a 3-piece pipe here that you can stick something in all 3 holes. So you would have your 2 outer pieces for the balance. Whatever height you decided on for your hurdle would stick up here, and you would put an elbow here, and then we had a 2-piece bar for the width of your hurdle. If you wanted your hurdle to be wider than that, you could put a 3-piece here or whatever you wanted. But that was the basic pattern for the hurdle. And then you have to paint these with actually it's this one's actually 2.5 feet, sorry, 15 inches. But you can paint these with acrylic paint. You can't paint them with the water-based paint because it doesn't really adhere to you. You have to paint it with an acrylic paint. And we were going to paint these also as part of our obstacle course. My first part was going to be a wall. You can build your wall with the pallets. You can build them with pallets. I have a picture we're going to show you that I'm going to transfer, and it shows one built a little more sturdy, but that was going to be Mount Ararat, and it was going to be the beginning of my course because that's where Noah's Ark landed, was on top of Mount Ararat. And then everything after that was going to be part of the rainbow. So my obstacle course was going to start out with the wall. You were going to come down and have a cargo net to climb down from the wall. Then you were going to be met with each obstacle along the way. You can take a piece of log as another obstacle course further down. You can have a tunnel that you can build from a tarp and just a piece of rope, or you can put duct tape hula hoops in the into the tarp and have that as part of it. There's so many different ways that you can build up an obstacle course. All of it's determined on your imagination and things you might see other places. But you can make an obstacle course so much fun. It doesn't have to be beyond the scope of what the children can do. It can be simple things, but they can have so much fun doing it. So I hope you'll join me and build your obstacle course so the kids can have fun.
Adventurers, this is Lorraine. I hope you're all enjoying your virtual camp. What we're going to do in this activity is an obstacle course. Now you're all going to be getting a ball that looks just like this one. You'll need to blow it up, so the little ones may need help from mom and dad or maybe your leaders to help you blow the balloon up. And then what you're going to need also is a stick. You can use a stick from outside, you can use a spoon, a spatula, anything you can find at home. And what we're going to do is make an obstacle course. Now we made one with using chairs and using some bowls here. And we're going to just go around here. Now when you do it at home, you can use chairs, you can use trash cans. If you're doing it outside, you can use sticks. Those big long pool noodles are lots of fun also to use. And what we're going to do here today is we have a little helper here. His name is Christian, and Christian is going to actually demonstrate to you how to do your obstacle course, okay? He's going to round it with a stick. Now what he's going to do is go all the way around, and when he gets to the end, he's going to hit it into this bag, and you're all going to receive also, okay? So whether you're doing it with your church or whether you're doing it at home with your family, the object is to get it inside the bag, okay? Lots of fun doing this at home, and bye.
Everybody, good to see all of you adventurers, even though we couldn't get together. I'm Jolene, this is Lorraine, and we are going to be telling you all about the craft and activity that you would be doing at Fun Day called Splash Art. As you know, our Adventurer Fun Day is Color Your World with Love, and we are going to help you make a special craft just for your club that is splashed with all sorts of fun colors to represent how you could splash the world with love. So, here is what you're going to need. You're going to need some large containers to put paint in. You're going to need some sponges to put in the paint, and then you're going to need some paint. For those of you that are picking your supplies up at the conference office, you'll be able to pick the paint up from us. The sponges and the bowls you can purchase at Dollar Tree or off of Amazon. They're really not that expensive. You will also be receiving a canvas from us that you can hang up in order to throw your paint at and have some fun. So let's show you how much fun this is going to be. My helper, Christian, is going to come over here and show you. So when you're done, as you see, my hands are beautiful and colorful, and so are Christian's and Miss Lorraine's. Come up here and stamp your art. Leave your handprint so everybody knows who helped paint your beautiful canvas. So go on out there and splash your world with the colors of God's love. And we'll see you later. Bye.
Adventures. Hey, thanks for coming back to my lab. Hey, let's do some more interesting experiments. And we've been working with some color. In fact, I've got my colorful lab coat on right here. And I like your theme, paint your world with love for Christ. That's what we'd like to do. We'd like to make the world very, very inviting so that people will be drawn to Christ through you and me, and we can be a part of that. Hey, we're going to set up a very interesting experiment with color. This is something that you can do at home, and that's what I like, these experiments that we can do at home. In fact, let's see what we got right here. Okay, let's get all of this taken care of. And so what I have, I've got some containers. You can use little cups, clear plastic cups like I have over here. And all you need is some paper towels. And so I've got a paper towel right here, and I folded it in half. Then I folded it in half again, and then I folded it in half again, and then we bent it, okay? And then we cut a little bit off of the ends. That's what I have right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these out of these cups right here, and I'm gonna fill these up with water. Now you notice that we've got some red food coloring in this one and red food coloring on the end one, okay? Remember, you have to be careful with food coloring. It can stain your hands, it can stain your clothes, so wear the proper things. Then we've got some blue food coloring here, and we've got more red over here, and we have yellow right here. All right, so there's our food coloring, right? Then the next thing we're going to need to do is we're going to put these paper towels, these pieces of paper towels right in. So I'm going to put a paper towel in here, okay, and I'm going to put a paper towel in here, okay. Then I'm going to put another paper towel in here, okay, like so. All right, so there we go. I need one more paper towel, so I'm going to go ahead and fold this one up. Now, paper towels are super absorbent. They are super absorbent, and they want to absorb an awful lot of water, and that's what they're doing. They're absorbing a lot of water because of what we call the capillary action, because water wants to go uphill, and it can follow the little capillaries, the little holes in the paper towel. And I'm going to bend this one over. I'm going to put this one right in here as well. Now, if you look very carefully, you might be able to see some of that colored water traveling up, and it's going up against gravity. You know, gravity pulls everything down, okay, towards the center of the earth, but the capillary action is pulling all of that liquid up, okay, up. And it's here, you can see it's pulling up here, and you can see there's red here, and there's some blue coming up and over here, and some yellow coming up and over here, and some more red coming up and over here. All right, Now, what we're going to do, this takes a while, okay, for this to happen. But remember, these cups here, this cup and this cup and this cup, it's empty. Well, it has air or something. But we're going to try to get the liquids to go all the way up from one, okay, to the other. Okay, and that's what we're going to try to do. In fact, let's see. I think I missed a couple of paper towel spots, didn't I? I sure did. So let's go ahead and we're going to make some more paper towels, and so we can make sure that we have all of this just as complete as possible. Okay, and we need a link here. We need a link from the yellow. Okay, we need a link from the yellow, okay, to this empty one right here. So let's go ahead. We're going to push that down in there. All right, there we go. We're going to need another link from the blue to the red. Now, you like to paint, don't you? Okay, well, you know, when you paint, you want to wear the right kind of clothes. Because if you don't want to wear your good clothes when you paint, because you're going to ruin them. That's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to not get everything messy, okay? And here we go. I've got this all situated now. And what we're going to do is we're going to let this set for a while, okay? Going to let it set for a while so that the capillary action can go from the liquid all the way up and into this empty cup. And let's see what can happen when we mix those colors, okay? All right, sounds good to me. I'm going to set this off to the side right here. All right, we're going to refer back to this just a little bit later, but it does take some time, and we want it to look very, very nice. Let's look at something that I think is very, very puzzling. You know, it's kind of neat to see. I've got some liquids inside of these containers right here. I've got a clear liquid in this container right here. I've got another clear liquid in this container right here, and the third container has another clear liquid inside of it. Now, these liquids are going to represent different things. Now, this liquid in this container right here, this is going to represent our lives, your life and my life. But you know, Adam was created in the image of God, and you and I were created in the image of Adam. But you know, Adam sinned, didn't he? Adam sinned. Now this container right here, this liquid, that represents sin, and sin can spoil us, and it can actually turn us into what we call a sinful person. So let's see what can happen right here. I'm going to pour some of this in here. Let's see what happens when we pour that in there. Whoa, now that's interesting. We have a clear liquid, pouring it into clear liquid, and you end up with something that looks kind of red or purple in color. Now that's interesting to me. That really is. Now that represents sin. And sin, we all have sin in our lives. That's right. You know, the Bible says that everybody's sinned. You sin, I've sinned. Your grandmother has sinned. Your grandfather has sinned. Your brother, your sister, your father, your mother, everyone, even the pastor and the Pathfinder leader, the adventure leader, everybody's sinned. So how can we get rid of sin? Well, I got some good news for you. Here's the good news. The good news is that Jesus came to the earth. Now, Jesus didn't come to the earth to make bad people good. He came to the earth to make dead people alive. That's right, because we're all dead in sin, but he is going to cleanse us from our sins. And all we have to do, if we want to be cleansed from our sins, is to accept Jesus into our lives. See what happens. Watch and see what happens when we put Jesus in our lives. What does he do with sin? This is how it works. We confess our sins. That means you have to be sorry. You have to be sorry that you sinned. And then he says, I will forgive you. And he does. He forgives us. And see what happens. And see what happens. And see what happens. And see what happens. What happens to all of that sin? What happens to all of that? What happens to it? Is it going away? Is it going away? Is it going away? What happens to all of that? What happens to it? And is it going to be gone? Is it gone? Is it gone? Is it gone? Let's stir this up a little bit. Let's get this all mixed up very, very thoroughly. And it's gone. It's like new again. It's clear. Jesus can cleanse us from all unrighteousness. That's good news, isn't it? And that's another way that we can paint our world with love of Christ. That's right, because the world is sinful, and the world can get rid of its sinfulness by accepting Jesus into their hearts. I don't know about you, that's what I want in my life. That's pretty cool. So we did that with some chemicals, but Jesus can do that with you and me if we just give our lives to Him, and He will cleanse us from all unrighteousness. How cool is that? Hey, let's check in on our experiment, because we needed some time for this to happen right here. Let's check this out. I'm going to put my safety glasses on, using some liquids. Don't want to get it splashed out. Can you see what's happened here? Can you see what's happened? Look at what's happening. Now, this container here was empty, okay? Didn't have any liquid in it anyways. This container was empty. That didn't have any liquid in it. And this container was empty also, but now they are filling up. How are they filling up? How is that working? Well, this red liquid right here has been going all the way up through the fibers of that cloth through capillary action, and it's been dumping itself into this container right here. But also this container, all of that paper towel, all that blue stuff has been coming out in capillary action, going against gravity, remember, and it's going into here. That's interesting to me. And what happens when you mix red and blue? Well, we're trying to pick up a little bit of a purple in there. Then the blue is being mixed with the yellow. What color are we making then? We're making green. You know, we never had green. Remember, all we had was red, okay? And we had blue, okay? And we had yellow. All we had were those three colors. But now we have more colors. How cool is that? And then the yellow and the red are mixing, and you end up with what? End up with orange. How cool is that? Now that's interesting to me, but this takes a little bit of time for it to happen. But you know, that's interesting because, you know, if we can mix our colors, you know, everybody is different. Everybody's different. And if we can come together, once we come together, then there's a new color and a new exciting color. How cool is that? And that's just another way that we can paint our world with love for Christ. That's right. It's to join together and mixing our what? Mixing our talents, mixing our joy, mixing our attention, mixing our work and our prayer and our concerns for others. Wow, that's really powerful. Well, I'm hoping that you'll be able to try this at home, but it takes some time. Remember, it takes some time, about an hour or so, and check back with it. That's pretty cool, and I love those colors. Those colors are brilliant. How cool is that? And that kind of reminds me of the rainbow. You know, the rainbow was the first promise or covenant that God made to man, and He made it for whom? It made it for Noah and his 3 sons and their wives, and Noah and his wife. And it was a what? It was a promise. It was a promise that He would never destroy the entire world with a flood again. I love that. You know, whenever God promises something, you can depend on His promise, and it will come true. Well, I'm going to move this out of the way a little bit right here. Hey, wasn't those colors pretty? Man, I just love the colors. You can try that at home. I mean, that's really, really brilliant. Well, since we're talking about colors, you know, have you ever colored eggs? Yeah, colored eggs. I've got some colored eggs on the table over here. We're going to do an egg experiment. Actually, have you ever heard about the fact that eggs can explode? Yeah, well, we're going to explode some eggs, and it's really kind of fun. But you know, I've got an egg right here. Now, this is a regular chicken's egg, but you know, the chicken's egg can explode. Well, how can it explode all by itself? Well, what can happen is it could have a little crack in it somewhere, and bacteria could get inside, and the bacteria forms a gas inside. And if that gas pressure gets too much pressure inside, the whole egg can just break open, or it can just kind of explode. Now, that's not a good thing, because it's going to smell kind of bad, because it's really a rotten egg. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to explode an egg, not by using bacteria, not by using something that really smells bad. We're going to be using something that doesn't have any odor at all, and you can't even see it. And in fact, it's in the air. It's a gas. In fact, it's one of the most abundant elements that Jesus created in the universe. And it's what? You know what it is, don't you? It starts with H, and it's hydrogen gas. So this is what we're going to do. We've got a little balloon right here, and we've got a tank of hydrogen. We're going to fill up this balloon with some hydrogen. Then we're going to put some hydrogen in this egg, and then we're going to light it on fire. It's going to be kind of fun. Okay, all right, so let's get this thing started. All right, so we're going to go ahead, and Miss Deborah's going to help me. So she's going to open up the valve, and watch this green balloon. We're going to fill it up with some air. Remember, it's hydrogen gas in it. It's hydrogen. Okay, and that's all we're going to need. I'm going to go ahead and turn the valve off. Okay, I'm going to take this off of here. So we have this much hydrogen. And now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put that hydrogen right inside of the egg. Okay, so we're going to get this right inside of our egg, all right, like this. And the hydrogen is going to come and it's going to fill that egg all the way up with hydrogen gas. Okay, cool. All right, so the next thing we need to do is we're going to take the tape off of here, and we have a little hole in that top of that egg, and I'm going to expose the hole, and I'm going to light it with my little fire. Here, okay, hang on, let's go. 3, 2, 1. Let's see what we got right here. And let's see what we got. Oh, boy, you see that? And we had an egg explosion, and that was fun. That was really fun. But can you imagine what would have happened if we had a real chicken's egg and it had enough bacteria in it and exploded, and it would be really, really messy, wouldn't it? It really would. Hey, would you like to see that in slow motion? Well, we're going to do a couple. We got 2 eggs right here, and we're going to do these in slow motion, and that should be kind of fun, and you can kind of see how it's going to fly all over the place. Sounds good? All right, we're going to set it up. Are you ready for... Whoa. Wasn't that cool? See those eggs explode? I mean, that was just the coolest thing. And it's a little bit scary, really. But that reminds me, you and I aren't an egg, okay? But you know that a lot of life comes from an egg. But you know what? That bacteria, all it had to do is to get into and through that membrane, through that shell membrane, it can spoil even the best egg. Cool, isn't it? You know what we need to do? We need to keep ourselves so that we don't get contaminated with bacteria. Not a good idea. So if we can stay close to Jesus, he'll help us not to be contaminated. Then we can paint the world with love for Christ, because they can see that we have Jesus in our heart. That's pretty cool. Oh, by the way, you know how to tell a raw egg from an egg that's cooked? Yep, that's what you do. You spin it. In fact, if I spin this one, it spins very, very slowly. But if that egg was cooked, it would spin really, really fast. That's really cool. Hey, I've got another experiment here that I wanted to show you today. So let's see what we got. I'm going to go ahead and move some of this eggshell mess away. And today what we're going to do, we're going to talk about, and we're going to do an experiment with a gas. Well, we just use hydrogen. We use hydrogen gas to put in those eggs to explode them, okay? But now we're going to use another gas. We're going to use a very heavy gas. Now, hydrogen happens to be the lightest gas that we know of and the most abundant in the universe. We talked about that earlier. But I brought another gas that it's one of the heavier gases that we know of. And it's called SF6, sulfur hexafluoride. So let's do a little experiment with it, okay? First of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little balloon right here. I'm going to put some air in the balloon. We need air in this balloon to show you how heavy this new gas is, our SF6 gas. So I'm going to blow some air in here. Okay, and we're actually going to use this container right here. And the balloon has to fit inside of there. Okay, there we go. So it has to fit inside. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to tie the end of this balloon, okay, up, just like that. Okay, there we go. And then I'm just going to put it right inside. Okay, and it's heavy. That's a heavy balloon that has heavy air in it. You and I breathe heavy air. And that air that you and I breathe happens to be a mixture of nitrogen and oxygen, about 78% nitrogen, about 28% oxygen. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of the heavy gas inside of here, the heavy air inside of here. It's going to be so heavy that hopefully that balloon is just going to float up. Are you ready? Okay, let's give it a try. So here we go. All right, so I have a tank of that. There's a tank of this heavy air gas right here. Okay, and it's very, very heavy. In fact, it is liquid inside. It's liquid inside, and when I open the valve, then we take the pressure off the liquid and it turns into an air gas. So here, let me put this down over here, make sure you can see all of that. I'm going to open this valve up, and it's going to make a little bit of noise. Okay, here we go. We're going to make a little bit of a noise, and you ought to be able to hear the heavy gas coming in. But remember what's happening. The liquid is changing into an air gas, and it's going to fill up my little container right here. And let's see, can we hear it yet? Can we hear it yet? Okay, hang on. Okay, I think we're almost ready. All right, here goes. Are you going to hear it? Can you hear it? But we can't see it. Why can't we see it? It's invisible. Oh, what's happening to my balloon? What's happening to my little balloon? Look what happened to the balloon. The balloon is floating. Let me move this tank down here so this won't fall. Okay. Whoa, look at that. The balloon is floating. The balloon is floating on very, very heavy air gas. That's pretty cool, isn't it? So I can push it down, but it's floating. Now, so that air gas is in there. Now, let's see what we're going to do right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the balloon out. Let me take the balloon out. Okay, here we go. And if I drop the balloon right here, the balloon's just going to fall down. Yep, it's going to fall down. But there's heavy air gas in here. And this balloon is just floating right on top of it. How cool is that? Now, one thing that this heavy air gas does is it's a good insulator for electricity. So I have a little stun gun right here, and we use this and because it has a very, very high voltage, so we can check out electricity. And if I if I push the button, look at that. So that's an arc of very, very high frequency electrical current. But you know what? That gas is a good insulator. It won't let that current go from this little lead for here. And if I put it inside of here, it will go out. It won't conduct electricity when it gets to that level. Check it out. Let's see if it works. Here we go. That's interesting. That is interesting. So that air gas insulates electricity. It's a good insulator for electricity. That's cool, isn't it? But you know, that heavy air gas, you know what it reminds me of? Reminds me of the fact that, you know, Jesus can give us his power through the Holy Spirit so we can be insulated from the bad things in this world. Now, you know, that would shock you, and that would really hurt if we shocked you. But, you know, that's kind of a bad thing. But that air gas, that heavy air gas, is a great insulator. And, you know, Jesus wants you and I to be insulated from the bad things so that we can paint our world with love of Christ. Hey, you know what's interesting? What would happen if we breathe heavy air gas? You and I don't breathe heavy air gas. We breathe a combination of what? Nitrogen and oxygen. I'm going to breathe some of this, and then I'm going to talk. Do you think it'll change my voice? Have you ever heard anybody that had helium, that maybe they breathe a little bit of helium from a helium balloon? What happens to their voice? It goes where? Goes way, way, way up high. What do you think is going to happen if we breathe a very, very heavy air gas? Is my voice going to go high? Is it going to go low? Or is it going to go sideways? Well, let's find out. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and breathe some of this. Check it out. Remember what my voice sounds like. Let's check this out.
Now, did my voice change just a little bit because I just breathed that very, very heavy air gas? Isn't that interesting? Aren't you glad that all of our voices don't sound that way? It would be terrible, wouldn't it? But you know, our voices don't sound that way. Well, let me get rid of some of this gas. Check it out.
There. Now my voice is back to normal again. Isn't that cool? I think so. But you know what's so interesting about that? You and I don't breathe a heavy air gas all the time. Otherwise, our voice would sound really crazy, like my voice just sounded crazy. And we don't breathe very, very light gas like helium. Then we'd all sound like a quacking duck or something else. But you know, the air that we breathe is just perfect because Jesus gave us the right mixture of air gases so that you and I have our unique voice. That's right, your voice is different from everybody else's voice that has ever lived on the face of this earth. Can you imagine? That's right, no one has your exact same voice. That's how special you are to God. That's how special you are to Jesus. Isn't that cool? And you know what we need to do? We need to tell the world about Jesus' love for them because they are unique too, just like you and I are. That is so cool. Well, hello, North Carolina Adventurers. Hey, I'm glad that you joined me in my lab. And I've got my special assistant. This is Miss Deborah Rivera. Say hi, Miss Deborah. Now, Miss Deborah has a very, very special job. She's an animal scientist. Do you like animals? I hope you do, because I love animals. But Miss Deborah is really, really perfect with animals because she works with wild animals too, as well as domestic animals. And Miss Deborah, you work with a non-profit organization. What is that?
We do wildlife rescue, rehab, and then we release them.
So wildlife, that means like dogs and cats?
No, it's native to our area, like raccoons, possums, squirrels, chipmunks, birds, those kinds of things.
Oh, wow. So those are animals that you and I wouldn't have at home, maybe, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. But now when you came in and I saw you've got something you want to share with everybody. Did you bring them?
Yes, I
What'd
did.
you bring? What'd you bring?
Well, I'll get her out.
I see a banana on the table over here. Is it a monkey?
Nope.
It's not a monkey, but it's a wild animal. Whoa, look at that. It's not a gorilla.
Nope.
No, what is that animal?
It's an opossum.
It's an opossum. Now, that is interesting. Now, opossums are very interesting because they have, now this was how did you get this little one? It's just a baby.
Yes, this one, the mother was run over and someone found there were 3 babies and she's one of them. And anyway, so I'm taking care of it and then we'll release them at some point.
Oh, wow. Oh, good. So she won't
bite you, just.
She won't bite me.
No, she
okay,
won't
that's
bite
good. I don't like to be bitten. Come here. Let's go over here. There you go. So she was a baby and her
Yes.
mother was run over
By a car, yes.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yes.
That's terrible.
Yes.
Wow. So possums are interesting because they have something that no other animal in North America has.
Yes.
I read that in a book.
Yes.
What do they have?
They are the only marsupials that we have in North America, which means they have a pouch. So the babies are born and then they live in their pouch until they're ready to go.
Okay, so they live in the pouch. Now how old are they when they go into the pouch?
When they go into the pouch, as soon as they're born, then they work their way into the pouch.
Oh,
so it's
wow.
a pretty tough job for them to get there.
Pretty tough job. Now,
Yeah.
a little baby like this, how long would a baby opossum stay with the mother?
Probably about 4 months, give or take. We release them by weight, not by age. So anyway, so we wait till they're about 3 or 4 pounds.
Okay.
And then we release
so by
them.
the time, look at, she's hanging by her tail. Now that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, can possums really hang? I mean, adult possum, can they really hang by their tail?
They use it for balance, and maybe they'll hang for just a brief time to get from one place to the other. But their body weight is too heavy for it, so it hurts when they actually hang from it.
I see. And can they use it for like another hand?
Yes. Yeah, they can carry things, like they can carry different types of grasses to make a bed, or they hang on to, like they'll hang on to things, and yeah.
Hey, that'd be handy. I wish I had another hand.
It's kind of like an elephant's trunk.
Like an elephant's trunk.
Yeah.
Now, I saw some teeth right here. Tell us about the opossum's teeth, because they look really fierce.
Yeah, they have 50 teeth.
50
and they
teeth.
are made for grinding. They're not necessarily made to for their defense.
Yeah.
They can chew up bones, so when they eat a animal, they eat a lot of dead animals, so they're scavengers, and they'll eat the bones and everything.
Now, they eat the bones. Now, you and I, we usually don't eat bones, do we?
No.
So why do they eat bones?
They need the calcium.
They need the calcium.
Yeah,
so
need
they
the
just
calcium.
they just chew them up. So if
They
it's
just
going to
chew 'em
eat a little mouse or maybe a frog, they'll eat
The whole
everything,
thing.
even the
whole
bones.
thing. Yes, the whole thing.
That's amazing, isn't
Yeah.
it? Now, are possums really dangerous to people?
Possums are actually very beneficial to us. They can get the venomous snakes. The only one that can kill them is the coral snake. So if you have snakes around your house, they'll take care of that. They're good mousers, and they eat about 5,000 to 10,000 ticks a year per possum, and they don't get the Lyme disease. So and they don't get rabies because their body temperature is so low. So
Wow.
when you see them drooling and hissing and stuff, that's their defense, which
That's their
isn't very good.
Well, I got 2 ticks on me last week. I don't like ticks, so
No.
they'll eat about 5,000 ticks a
Yes.
year.
Yes.
Wow, so they're very beneficial,
Yes.
aren't they?
Yes.
Wow. Now, what should any of our adventurers do if they should find a wild animal? Maybe the mother has gotten hit by a car. What should they do with it?
Well, first of all, you need to make sure that they're really an orphan. Sometimes the parents will be sitting off watching the babies, but if you do know they're an orphan, then put them in a box with a little t-shirt or something like that. Not a towel, because their nails will get stuck in those little hooks in your towel. And then just put them in a quiet place. Don't feed or water them, because sometimes just giving them a little bit of water can be detrimental.
Wow.
So we don't want to do that. But and then call a rehabber.
Okay. Now, this little possum, now you're using it for educational purposes, right?
Yes. Yes.
Just to try to instruct boys and girls and adults about wildlife and about how important they are for us, and to teach us something about God's design, because God designed those awesome animals. Didn't Jesus design
Yes.
those animals?
And with this one, I mean, she looks very friendly, and she is one of the friendlier ones, but they're not all like this, and you know, they do have potential of biting you, so don't just go play with one.
Yeah, with
either.
50 teeth, I imagine they could really bite. Interesting. Now, do they come in a different color varieties?
Yeah, they can come in different shades of colors. Yeah.
Okay, colors. Jesus loves colors, doesn't he?
Yes.
He created animals different colors. He created flowers different colors. He created people different colors. Color is really cool, isn't it? And we can color our world for Jesus, because that's interesting. That's a very interesting. What I'm interested in, look at the ears. The ears on this possum are very, very large. So are they better at hearing than seeing?
Yeah, they don't see very well. They hear very well, but their eyesight's not very, very good. So that's another problem they have out in the wild. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, that's amazing. And that is one cute possum. Now, do you have any more possums right now?
I have 2 more that came with this one, and then I have another one that came in as a single. So.
Okay. Well, hey, thanks for doing such a good job with rehabbing wildlife, because that's important, isn't it?
Yes.
Because you and I, we should take care of adventurers. We need to take care of God's creatures, shouldn't we? We really should. And that's another way of showing the world about Jesus, because of his creation. And you remember, Jesus created everything that you and I can see. All the animals that we can see, everything was created by him. Well, thank you for coming and visiting with us today and showing a very, very special animal. Does it have a name yet?
We're kind of leaning towards jelly bean, but I'm not sure.
Jelly bean. Well, that sounds interesting, doesn't it?
Yes.
And adventurers, it's been good to do some videos with you and some sciencing, and we hope that you will have just a wonderful day. Thanks a lot. Bye.